I'm not a snake yet because no one's paying me to date, preferentially by my mistake. I just thought I was looking at myself, even. To the face, to the face, to the half face, HF. You can still, though, vie in knave, where I have placed the tine, tin tine, and thine, in each that caved and craved. ID. From the dame, the dam, dame, and same. Amen. Amen, dame. Debt to be. Be. Be ends, be bespoke end. That as the drone would be. As the drone woo would be AD and your bed. Why would you want 0 inside out and outside in even? So you know who to talk to. Even vend. That your debt, again, to tag the ag, would also involve the hag that are married with a happy eye, and you already know their virtue because they've sold it. Sold it, asked, told it to behold it. Be the ad, be the bed, behold it. Heaven head. The ag, which is also the agriculture, the land, where the people were once, the land, has the same value as the cast, stead, dough, hand. To speak, DS, designer signature, designated signature, peak, to the mountains, to the dunes, the dun dune, run rune, tun tune, to you tun tune, to have what you're speaking for, reward, be tread and bread in the same trial balance. You're bringing the same egos to stand on their own. And these are the people that should be selling the throne. The HR, the ho you are, roan. Down, sewn down through the drone. Done on one drone. Because your beehive in nature does not have a king bee. It only has drones working for the QUEEN. So to make noise, buzz, saw, is to do it for a reason. For a caput tail bell, ball, tall, tally, ID. I lead the suffering by stuffing it. Okay? By stuffing T, guilt, as in gold, the gilt edge of the sword, tit. Get tit, alright? to B-A-D. To throw it back in with black. I will speak. T-O-M-E. ID, that's seeked. And those that seeked already know. The guest stated has the state tend, and the jest, ingest, state tend. When you ingest, you eat. It comes out the other end, straight, narrow, arrow, including the marrow, bone and tone and bone, trial balance, to throw, from the throne, net cast, the honor conscious cast, taste as haste, as cast, through the neck crown to the D done drone on one. What else? Where the worker bee now is wearing the crown is also the neck row. You're eating the cold cast that is dried on the line that you shat last. To be in line is to be in tine. Total loss, tine in line. Where you meet your mate, Matt, and math that you make with your very last. To go for reward, your next cast. To cite your last. If you think I'm being inappropriate, I'm just being in my apartment even, and I would suggest that you have not brought just being that has been given, you haven't brought it even. So, newsflash, I'm not being inappropriate to be me own masked, and I masked. I am me mask. I masked. I asked. And my mask stays masked. The pull, the vertical pull. To toot without bringing the trial balance to boot, tit through, is to be lewd. Lewd with hyphens. But you're being lewd so that you can gain traction. It's like going fishing. Phi, fish, the H, shin, shine. Go odd. One shiny ego odd, thief end. It's not your right, as Freeman doth stupid, to cast even. So to do otherwise than to bring me the head that I desire, heaven head and hand, is to go fishing for no reason, to gain traction, so that I, for one, as with anyone, would speak on you. And then you can pitch it black, hyphenated, to cast for reward, dudes. Spursuit. You wet through. To forward your advance, to make whatever shit you want up on women. Omend with women. So you're taking the value that's thinking of two and you're changing it into toy you with woo hyphen D. This was law, the lost lot, hyphenated, was all established that this challenge, rising to the challenge, to the vi, that would take place in Nave. Okay? And I have resurrected the challenge with the shoe on the other foot. And so we could give parallax its fair tear, R-E-A-D, if you want to be there. And here, yap pre-shabli. B-L-E-A-D. B-L parentheses H-E-A-D. So here I'm laying the argument in the woman's nave because I'm a representative of a female frame that I've engineered for completion even, only for completion even, and even represents reason as desire in life even. So it's not just emotions, it's knowing how, okay? How to love and follow through. And one of the interesting things that I notice is forever lasting, putting the argument in the nave and then dowing with waved, everlasting stew. You know, I don't perceive we're going back to black. Without you wearing your damn Mary mused. You know. Correct me if I'm wrong, Sharon. I think you're giving value. You gave value not because it was honest value, honest tonal value. You gave value to get it asked, a tag, asked a stage, agreed, okay, of your doffering. But you can't have a DOFF doffering on Rich's Freeman doffed, okay? You can only have a doffed, stupid doffering. To loot, to lot, to tot, to get it toffed, but it would be thief end in process and in product, e-vain. So what I'm perhaps detecting is you're upset about the people that framed you, but you gave them your friendship to tag a go, all right? Hyphenated. To cast your shoe and your show, to always show, for no reason, thief end. But gain admiration as you sap apparently go. Sap and tap apparently go. Your ego. But Rich knows because you sunk his stone, and he gave you the lead, and you know, I think he sat in it for quite a while as you bitched at his ego for not contributing anything for you to give it a show. Your astrology as a couple really suggests that you're invested in his ego. So you guys, part of your relationship that didn't work once you got money is, well, who was the most righteous, fair, tear, there, as with here, as with anywhere. And you competed because that's the same tenet of your stated relationship, to hand off stupid to get toffed, thief end for no reason, apparently even to show, but it's evane to both your egos. So Rich was not satisfied with your leading, with your also bitching, uh, that he tag along when it was just gall, Gall. For you now to lead and carry merry song and dong. Okay. Whimsically. Okay. Whimsically, I can say that because I'm doing the work that you as a couple should have thought to do first. First thirst, okay? And if there was something wrong, well, shoot, don't you think you should have put your heads together and figured it out? Instead of casting me, the single person, to be wrong on your song and dong, and looking like I have no commitment to relationship to Sprout, to ask Sprout. So I sent a text to Christine to thank her again, Oodles, for watching Minnow again. And that's so cute. She says, I miss him. He's one of a kind and sweet. He definitely is. He definitely is. I just texted her. um, let's see. You, had I picked someone else, they'd be in the same pot stew. They can't prove either here nor there. Okay, so now you get to bring your best muscle to what you would have and have vet, then and vet to cast law, taught in law with ass stare. AD as you wish to be there and here by giving the value to cross over. Really? So she says that Minnow humped Ashley, but he didn't hump Christine. I said, well, Ashley's fishy. Stand your stint as you think I mean, knit. Why would I disembark that way? I got a comment back. It says agreed. Why would I put it that way? For me, it's when we went to camp, was even prior to that, what I sensed with Ashley, who I trained, is she was a bit suspicious of my strength in myself. And I have to say, I find that a distaste. In that I'm providing for your wealth and health. Okay. I find it a distaste that me being strong is thought to be suspiciously egotistic and maniacal, and not thinking of forgiving, to have stable tabled graces, to have a family and a relationship where it's based on factual disgrace. Okay, now that we can stare with parallax. So I don't appreciate, honestly, people finding me being of lesser value than them, who have never thought even to even pretend, okay? So I don't, someone's gonna back down, and well, I'm just gonna saunter around and do some other work because you're too strong for me. It's kind of like, I find that distasteful, honestly. And you can read into that whatever you will. It stands just as well on my frame as it does on your tail. That I'm meant to be fashioned and bed and bent and bend by romanticism, uh, without without tend and without never end and without never rend. You don't rend your own nil illusion of conspiring with conspiring. Evain fefend. I think what Christine's referencing by texting back that when I say Ashley's fishy, and that's why Minnow humped her, and then Christine texts back agreed, I think what is because of how she interpreted what was said from Ashley to her to me, that a client, while I've got one leg up, complained that I didn't do a sufficient comb out. And I'm like, that's fishy because, first of all, if there's a complaint, I want to hear it. Second of all, with all due ethics to stated grace and follow through as my very even name to land frame, I do go to exceeding lengths to teach how to do a comb out yourself, as with anything else. Why? I'm trying to release you, honestly, from having to go to the lice clinic, okay? If I can teach you how to see it, how to spot it, how to comb it, how to get rid of it, especially in a superbug state where it's resistant to chemicals, okay? And if I could teach you that and inform you, you can do it yourself. And this conversation won't be a fucking wet tissue. So that was fishy. I'm not sure if Christine interpreted it as fishy because her New Hampshire clinic, there were the three ugly sisters that worked there. They're named by me. What were their names? I called her Barbie, but she had really blonde hair and a fake tan. She necroed Cold Stone all the way. And then there's Colleen, who is a daft, drunk dingbat that loves animals, that is so flexible, it's obscene, okay? I didn't know you could fold over in triplicate and then plunge your head into your ass and speak out your vag. I did not know that. And I can't really say thank you for letting me know that either. And then there was, Melissa. Oh my God, hot Melissa, hot ego Melissa, witch and hitch. Okay, sorry. She was a bad seed. So with these three people Christine hired, that they also worked in catering together as their other hot job together, is they were playing mistrust against interest tossed, which was mistrust. And then they were creating traction by stirring the fucking pot that they put in the nest and in the hive. And What else? Part of their tactics were trying to throw each other under the bus. And occasionally me too, and then trying to make up. And I'm like, look, my bust is the butt, okay? You put it here, I'll chew up your bullet and spit it back into your own grill. Take your teeth with it and then flick them back in if you need it again. Okay? You know? So it took a while to get rid of them, unfortunately, because of the semantics of tricks, theatric tricks to make shit up, uh, brick by brick, and have Christine try and pass it, DOFF, when there was not one among the three ugly sisters. It took a while to figure it out, uh, but I think so. So this sort of feeding Christine a complaint, and even not feeding it directly to me, is 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 I think how she senses it's fishy. Also, is this some sort of one man upmanship? Because honestly, to date, in her business, I've out I've outdone her. Okay, to stand in one place and give 12 solid treatments one after another, and that could take 1 to 2 hours per person. Okay, did not go away. I watched the treatments when I was at camp, and just kept working steadfastly. Just kind of rung it up like, okay, you know what? I want to just call this partying late with the women. Okay, this is going to be a late night partying with the women. I've done more than even Christine has. Okay, so it's fishy. It's fishy to cast a shadow that you didn't bring for reward before you cast it. To be in your feather and feature to TY think your tore your ass forward. You don't know enough to cast, you know? It's Ashley, at the very least, knows me at work, but she may not know me here, but I'm no different at work there. I do intend to do a very good job and follow through. I do sense when people are not following me. Uh, my whole brooding evidence would attest to that. When I was at Brigham Young University, I gave a speech with 2 NFL football players, to a youth group, and the youth group was the 2 football players went first to speak, and then I did. Everyone was paying attention when the football players speak, and when I did, I just watched everyone chat when I had the mic. So I stopped speaking. I did impromptu ad lib silence until people started looking around, and then I did ad lib speech, saying, "Look, you know, this is my this is what I do in a week. I've got a morning workout, I've got an afternoon workout, I go to class, I study, I sleep, I eat, I do it again, and on the weekends I get on a plane and I go compete." And I really don't have time to let the ball drop because I'll never get it back. And letting my desire speak, I want to do all these things. So I let them know I took time out for you. And, you know, with all due respect, you know, now I'm challenging you to listen to. And what that afforded me, breaking form and forum, was at the end of the speaking engagement, rather than the whole cast there standing in a line to shake the football player's hand, they were standing in a line to shake mine. Because I caused them to stare. Because I was doing time. And football players are just gloating. Your frame has been made, as said, okay? And it doesn't mean anything. It means jack shit and honestly relating and follow through. You've created a spectacle, football, where you make the women watch you and you pay them less than cheap harlots. So they'll watch you starring and want your big penis eye to see their virtue, and they have to cast dew on you because they would not be sustainable any other way, jiggling their shit in front of you, okay? To get it goosed. Thiefend through, okay? Oh, hooray. I can do. I could pretend I'm a cheerleader too. Woohoo! JV, varsity, it's all the same to me. If you want to, there your bed would be. In all fairness, Christine is feeding me information from Ashley too. So it really may be that either one of them want to follow through, even two. Is it okay for me to say I don't know? Because I don't want to? Well, I'm pushing to know, for the record. But no buts. I'm working on it as best I can. By seeing what's necessary to reel in so I could cast it again from the same hand. Part of the pass that I give Christine, besides the fact that she employs me where a lot of other people wouldn't, where I can just be me, and that honestly is her strength. She does get behind that, and women's empowerment as herself is, she lives this business 24/7. She lives life's business 24/7. She gets calls around the clock. And she gets to say the same thing over and over again to people that are freaking out. And sometimes they're not freaking out, but sometimes they are. Sometimes they're shilling a pitiful story, and sometimes they're abusive, like the woman that, so I've got a backstory on that. The woman that they called the police because I would not service her because she hit me. The backstory on that is Christine asked me through text, what's my schedule today? I said, I'm open. So she said, this time? I'm like, yeah, I'm open at that time. Well, usually she'll send me a name back. So it solidifies this name, then at this time. And I write it on my day planner. She didn't send me a name. Christine is working in New Hampshire at the clinic. So not only is she handling all the phones and the reception, she's handling the appointments and the conversation to get back, because people just don't call for an appointment. They want to know what we do. We're not using chemicals, we're using heat. and dimethicone. So we explain that. She explains that. I explain that on occasion. On occasion, I do call back for her. Um, the backstory on that woman is that I didn't get a positive ID with a name and a time for the appointment. So Christine texts saying, "Hey, you know, your this timed appointment is there." And I'm like, "Shoot, I did not know. Uh, Let them know I'll be there in 15 minutes." And I get there, and the woman will not get off her rag. She'll not get off her racket that I am late, and and that she only provided for an hour for this treatment. Both of those are illusions to work with to date. Uh, in this respect, the backstory is that woman kept tagging Christine while she's at work, giving a treatment because she's got a gap. Okay, she has someone who doesn't work there anymore. So Christine's filling that spot to do the treatments, and she's handling phones for 2 clinics, 2 locations in 2 different states, having to have a conversation and booking and doing a treatment. And you got this woman who will not give up. She's late. And Christine's like, "Okay, I'm really sorry about that. It's my fault. She says she's going to be there in an X amount of time." Christine told me on the way, because she took me to get my surgery for my bunions, she told me that woman relentlessly was calling her back, you know, "She's not here, she's not here, she's not here." And she's kind of like, you know, she's working, she's doing a treatment, having to answer phones and explain to this dingbat that wants to be the crone, okay? That I will be there. And yet she keeps calling. And Christine thought to me that maybe her angle was that she wanted a price reduction. And, you know, having worked in this business for 3 years and 3+ years now, being on call, because I don't go to work and get paid to wait for you to have lice. I rise to the occasion. Which, you know, you have to be able to balance your load, to be in the harness, to have it reined in, okay? Time to go to work. Okay, I will be there at, all right, can you do it in 2 hours because I wanted to go to the gym or had some errands to do. That you can create and collaborate some flexibility in it, but you know that's how you make your money, and you've staged it that way. So to be in full awareness, you've got to be okay with someone's ringing in and I'm going to work. And I don't, for me, I'm not here to be shirked and jerked because I know I'm good at my job. And that woman wouldn't get off her racket. Knowing the backstory that she kept shilling to Christine while she's trying to hold down 2 business locations, 2 different states, while she's providing a treatment. It's hyperbolic bullshit, okay? That this woman will just steaming mad state that she has grace and that I have no preface on her pate or plate. Well, that's fine, but you need to be raving mad at yourself all the time that you sold your ass as yourself. And you need to actually face your wealth. You don't have any to date. And honestly, don't have any test state because you don't have any testes, okay, in your mouth to date. So fictionally get it out of your ass, because your ass can't fit my pate or my plate. So that's generally my stance. When I go to work, I'm not going there to be inflected. I know I'm good at what I do. I know I read cues and I provide provision to stair-step people how to get rid of lice, how to spot it, how to treat it in a superbug state. I also express my experience to date that you won't get off on the written page. On the written page, it says that lice can't live more than 2 days off of a host because lice is eating the blood on your scalp, on your crown, okay? And what I found, because I put lice in a glass and watch it to make sure it can't crawl out, then I watch it. I've had a lice that's lived 7 days, okay? So, you know, there's things that are not written about lice where I'm like, huh, my experience tells me. I took a video of it alive and kicking every day. So the company that does the method, Larada, with the heat, Christine sent them the info and the video, and all she got back was apparently they don't want to talk about it. So the only reason I was looking for lice that was living longer than the stated red on the line time is because I've seen lice alive on my floor. Minnows has a raised food bowl, and sometimes he flicks his kibble off, and then I'll come and clean it up. And it's in that kibble that he kicks off onto the floor that I've spot a live lice more than once. And then I started thinking, well, on occasion, Minnow doesn't itch generally like ferociously a lot. If he's got a bug or a tick on him, I can see it. And I've learned to preferentially see it because I used Hart's flea and tick medicine, and that broke him out. It put boils on his skin, and it made me feel like a bad steward. And I thought, you know, I picked this because of the marketing. Minnow doesn't need that. He needs me to look. And with his fur, he does not have a second coat. I can see for myself if he has a tick. And his breed doesn't have a second coat. It does not blow fur. Minnow, the Chernecco, a small pharaoh hound, comes from Sicily, and it comes from a temperate climate. So it was that. I was reflecting on some cues. You know, he does this, and I thought, you know, I'm not so sure he's not bringing hitchhikers, at the very least, into my apartment. And so I would toss it down the sink, put some water on it, and later I'd find a lice on my counter. I'm like, did that just crawl out of my sink? so, you know, and there was the time that I wear gym clothes to go to the gym, then to go to work. And then if they're not stinky or dirty, when I come in, I've got a little mat for my shoes and some shelves above where I hang my coats. And I'll take my clothes off and put them there so I could wear them again. Well, 4 days after that, I pulled down my clothes and I took my wool socks and just, you know, elongated them and lightly flicked them, and I'm like, there's a lice. And it's moving on the tile. Okay, I'm like, what? And I was like, when did I last use these clothes? So I went back to my day planner, and I'm like, it's been 4 days. I'm like, either that lice was there, it fell out on my head, or it's been living on my wool socks for 4 days, which nothing that I read online says that lice can do. So those are some of the tip-offs for me to put a lice in a glass. Watch it to make sure it didn't climb out, and then observe it every day to see how long it actually was living off of the host. The one that I put in a glass, the one that triggered it, was right under my lice comb. So I've got a ceramic dish. Being in the lice business, sometimes my head itches 24/7, and I know lice is a great trigger. You start talking about it, people's head itch. So I have to see if it is a real itch or not. So I have a comb here. It's in a ceramic dish. It's got a little washcloth in it. It's got a couple of soap, pieces of soap in it. And I combed my hair several days prior, and then several days later I picked that comb up. There was a big lice right under it, my comb, and I was like, really? And I had to think, when was the last time I combed my hair? It was like, no freaking way. I'm like, I'm putting that one in a glass, and then I watched it. So the glass was like a shaft. I think the name of the glass is Coronado. This is the shape. I'm not sure who makes it, but I do remember that I did select that shape like I did my silverware at one time. I don't have that many left of them because, you know, I occasionally chip and break them, but I still had one that was like this. And I've actually killed all my appropriate crystal wine glasses, so now I use the Coronado for my wine glass. Anyway, I put it in there on my vanity shelf next to the sink in the water, and I watched it. And I watched it to make sure it couldn't get out because I wanted to sleep well. Okay. And then when I was satisfied at its attempts and they would fall back to the bottom, I did put a little piece of kibble there because that's where I saw the other ones. I saw them with the kibble. So I put some kibble there. It kept falling back, kept falling back. I'm like, okay, so now I can sleep. And then I took a video of it every day and text Christine, hey, got one here that's not on the books, okay? You know? And so I would text her every day, and then she would start texting me, is it still alive? And I'm like, let me go see. Yes, it is. I'll send you a video. Today and tomorrow and the next day. It's funny, on the 7th day, she asked me if it was still alive. I saw that it was alive in the morning. When I went back to take a video of it, it wasn't moving. So it lived for 7 days. For me, thinking to ask, not skewing, but ask newing. Ask newing, go audette would be ask proving. Ask pre-reviewing, reviewing, wind and wing. Why? Because now the meta is forecasting. Methinks. Methinks to be add is to bed be. I'm not faulting Christine at this time, even if she's lending mistrust and has lent it, because she's willing to forge ahead. And she's willing to engage to lend. She's leading her wake and wave. And I don't think the three ugly sisters were honestly requiring with their questions and their ask spouts and sprouts. I do not think that at all. And where information falls through Christine's gap, it's because you haven't stood next to her and understand that she is triaging chaos, okay? She's triaging chaos and making it work, and she needs people that can do the same. You know, it's not going to freak out like this does not fall in proper ordered category awareness to be named as sane. No, you're not working with sane, okay? Until you've left, you have left sane, even. Christine wants to have her own frame, even if it is thiefent. And she's not there to defame women for no reason, because that's not how she's struggling to maintain, to go for her own reward. She's doing the best she can, given go odds, name, and DNA. Ends, frame and doft to restate, amen, doft. To test date, okay? So I don't fault her, you know. You need to go ahead of her if you're going to fault her. And I'm working on that for me, because I would rather that you as with anyone know which into who awareness of Ta and Law I speak. It's love and follow through, and I don't have anything to hide. Hide is shallow, as the skin would dab be a bride pied, Pied, black and white. Magpie, crow to the feast, crown delight, be the belly I light. Oh, to cast idle delight, idly add, delight belly had.